I'm just gonna start at the beginning. When I was in my mom's room, my pastor came to my mom, and he said, "Your son is gonna do great and mighty things." So every time, like, I struggled throughout my young life, or any time, my mom said, "You are gonna do great and mighty things." So I grew up in your basic, stereotypical Christian home. You know, Christian mom, Christian dad, went to church, and everything was fine. And at the age of about 5th grade, I just started going to church just cause, like, yeah, it was because I had to and not because I wanted to. And then in 6th grade, Miss Becky Morris, I saw you out there, and she said, "You should come to FCA retreat camp this weekend." I was like, all right, it's fine. So I went, and it like completely turned me, like complete 180, and I started living for God again. And then I also went 7th and 8th grade, and then it kind of like died down a little bit. And then my freshman year last year, I went to the Soxy retreat, and it like amped it up 10 notches. Like, it was amazing. And then I went to leadership camp also, and that was just extremely life-changing. Like, I know a lot of people down here went to leadership camp. And in the last morning, Shannon Powell, and you'll hear him later, he said, "This is not going to be all of you, but this is going to be some of you." I feel like God has said, at least one person in this room needs this. He said, "If you want to devote your life to ministry, I want you to come down." And I didn't stand up. God stood me up and walked me down to the altar. And before I knew it, I was on my knees crying and praying and thanking God that He has given me this opportunity to come here. And I look up about 5 minutes later, and standing right next to me is Carson. And we just like stand up, and it was like immediately we just started bawling out tears. And like, I don't really cry that often, but it was like the floodgates open. And we both said, Sockeste's about to change. Because if you go to Sockeste, it is not Christian oriented. We have a lot of Christian administrators, but the students, no, not at all. So we have been working our tails off to try to get Sockeste back where it needs to be. And then 2 days later, after leadership camp, I went with the football team to USC Upstate. And the first night, I looked at Carson, and because we had 2 atheists on our team that went there, and we were doing praise and worship, and they were sitting right there, and they were both sitting down. Everybody else in the building was standing up, but them two were sitting down. I looked at Carson and said, one of them are going to commit their life to Christ this weekend. And on the second night that we were there, a man by the name of Justin Thornburg stood up and committed his life to Christ. In 2 days, he went from an atheist to a Christian. Yes. That is truly amazing. So I feel that like God has just put so many people and so many events in my life to help me out along the path to devote my life to Him, for me to do what He needs me to do. So that's my story.
Our next speaker is a senior at St. James High School. Please welcome Callie Schaefer.
Well, like she said, my name's Callie Schaefer. Most of y'all know me. This is my 12th grade year at St. James.